What's up, guys? Albert here. Welcome back to the channel with another video. Today we're talking about Governor McKee's job approval rating, which is tanking at 29%. I want to make another reaction video to go over this and give you a little bit more detail about it. So let's get into this. I have a couple of articles that I think do a decent job covering this. So first off, it's an article by WPRI. And here's what it states. Governor McKee continues to receive poor remarks from Rhode Islanders who feel gloomy about the future of the state, according to a new survey. The University of New Hampshire Survey Center Ocean State Poll surveyed 598 Rhode Island registered voters and found that 29% approve of the job McKee is doing as governor, while 65% disapprove. Both numbers were the same in May. McKee's job approval in the University of New Hampshire poll is slightly lower than it was in a survey of likely voters released last month by Salve Regina University Pell Center, which has a governor at 36% approval. So this one is a little bit higher. 12 News political analyst Joe Fleming said that the survey results should be a warning to McKee and his inner circle as they look ahead for re-election campaign in 2026. Former CVS executive Helena Focus, who nearly defeated McKee in 2022 primary, has already been raising money to challenge him for a second time. This is two polls now that we've seen with governor's numbers being low, Fleming said. He has to start doing something to turn this around because we're starting to see a track record in these numbers. University of New Hampshire said McKee is underwater with all political groups. He has had a 42% job approval rating among self-identified Democrats. Okay, so even in the Democratic Party, he's not getting more than 50% job approval rating. 21% approval among self-identified independents and 9% approval with self-identified Republicans. Fleming said the biggest worry for McKee should be his low approval rating in his own party. Okay, 49%. That's a very concerning number since Democrats do very well in Rhode Island, which says to me, if I'm a Democrat looking to run for governor, I could think about challenging him in a primary, he said. In a separate University of New Hampshire poll of Massachusetts voters, Democratic Governor Maura Healey's job approval rating fell from 52% to 45% in July, while her disapproval rating inched up from 38 to 46%. The survey of 598 Rhode Island voters was conducted online from July 11th to July 15th and has a margin of sampling error of plus or minus 4 percentage points. The Massachusetts poll surveyed 509 voters. I'm not making this video about Massachusetts, so I'm not going to spend time on that. Researchers at University of New Hampshire State of Opinion Project, which conducted the survey, described Rhode Islanders as deeply pessimistic about where the state is heading. I mean, we've been saying this for a long time. If you talk to anybody here, you know that this is true. And only 20% of voters say Rhode Island is headed in the right direction, while 60% say that the state is on the wrong track. Democrats narrowly say that the state is on the right track by a margin of 43 to 40%. That number has been on the negative side of for the longest time, said Fleming, who has been conducting polls in Rhode Island for decades. Sometimes it gets up to even, but not better than that. Asked to name the most important problem facing Rhode Island, so this is important. Asked to name the most important problem facing Rhode Island, housing came first, cited by 16% in the poll, followed by infrastructure, jobs and economy, and the corrupt, incompetent government. I've made videos about all of these before, but let me just give you a quick idea of what all of these mean, right? Housing. Why is housing a problem in Rhode Island? First of all, the average house now in Rhode Island costs about, the median price in Rhode Island is over $400,000. It's somewhere with around $407,000 for a median price home in Rhode Island. We have about a month and a half of inventory left in Rhode Island. So basically, if nobody listed their home in their next month and a half, there would be 0 homes for sale. So prices continue to go up, even though wages are not catching up, even though interest rates are extremely high, just because of how low the inventory is. And then forget about affordable housing, which we're about short, like something around 37,000 units for affordable housing. What we're short. Okay, infrastructure. I've also made a video about this. Rhode Island's infrastructure a couple of years was classified, if I'm not mistaken, it was classified as a third world country infrastructure. So it doesn't really meet any sort of acceptable standards, to the point where they were fined and they had to do things. And now they've been doing things, they've been working on roads, but they never seem to be able to catch up. It just always seems that they're behind. The average Rhode Islander spends about $900 a year more on car repairs than any other person in America. And this is just because of how bad the roads are. So think about that, right? And then jobs and the economy. There's simply not enough jobs in Rhode Island. Big union state, right? So there's a lot of union jobs, a lot of small type business entrepreneurs, self-employed people like myself that can earn a living, but there's not a lot of innovation. It's not friendly for big corporations to come here. Companies like CVS, who's one of the biggest employers in Rhode Island, are considering leaving. Hasbro, who's another one of the biggest employers in Rhode Island, are also considering leaving. And they've said it multiple times. I mean, they've been debating this for years now. Every other year they're thinking about leaving, but they somehow, end up staying for another year. So it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. But these are big problems that Rhode Island is facing. And obviously you have the corruption of the government. Also, it's if I'm not mistaken, the top 10 of the most corrupt states in the country as well. So nearly half of all Democrats mention housing or infrastructure as the most important problem facing the state. Independents are more likely to mention that the state budget or cost of living, and Republicans are more likely to cite immigration as the most important problem. Also, immigration is a problem in Rhode Island. There's a huge number of illegal immigrants in the state that we deal with. Okay, so let me to not make this only about one article, let me look at the Providence Journal as well. So this one talks about, now this one came out September 30th, 2024. It's a little bit older. This is about that other survey that was conducted by the University of Regina, if I'm not mistaken. And they have Governor McKee at 34% on this one. So Governor McKee jobs approval rating continues to sag, right? And this was bad then. Now it's even worse, with only a little over a third of Rhode Islanders saying that they approve of his job performance in a poll from the Solvay Regina University Pell Center. Of the 876 likely voters polled between September 16 and September 20, 34% approved of the job McKee is doing, while 56% disapproved. There's a 2% percentage point decline in approval from the previous Pell Center. So again, this is 2% from the previous one, and now this, what is that? That's another 7% decline to 29% compared to where he was here. Okay, the glass half full representative for perspective for McKee in July, a University of New Hampshire poll had 29% approval rating for McKee, who is leading the presidential polling in Rhode Island. In the presidential race, Democrat Kamala Harris. So this is just older news, so that we already know how that went. How's that? So this is another article from Rhode Island Current. This is more of a analysis. So let me just cover this quickly as well, and we'll go from there. Could things be looking up for Governor McKee? URI polls results suggest that answer is yes. All right. Despite the grilling Governor McKee received during a Tuesday morning press conference on the Washington Bridge, a new University of Rhode Island poll unveiled hours earlier suggests the sitting governor has reversed his recent plunge in approval rating. About 55% of the 500 residents surveyed approved for the way McKee was handling his job as governor, comparing to 45% who disapproved, according to the Rhode Island Survey Initiative poll conducted by YouGov. The 80-question survey conducted online from August 15 to September 15 had a 6.2% margin of error, slightly higher margin of error than the other two. It's in stark contrast to other recent surveys. where McKee has seen declining favorability related in part to his handling of the Washington Bridge closure and rebuild. Again, I talked about this in the beginning a little bit. This is a big deal for Rhode Islanders. A lot of people take this bridge every day. People's commute has doubled. Businesses are suffering, right? A lot of things are a problem with this bridge. I made multiple videos about this. I've even covered how he talks about holding people accountable who were involved. A year later, we don't really see much accountability. There's not much communication. And this is just, look, this is an opinion, but it's an opinion really from the people. So there's a lot of people who feel this way, and this reflects on this, right? Now, this is a little bit longer, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but let me just cover one more thing here. Last year, URI included options for survey participants to answer neither or don't know when asked about the governor's performance, said Emily Lynch, professor of political science at URI. With those, we really don't have a clear understanding of how people felt, Lynch said. Survey designers opted for a forced choice this year to better gauge McKee's popularity with the intent of measuring this year's results against future polls in what is planned to be an annual initiative. So there you have it. Just a quick idea of what we're looking at and where Governor McKee stands right now with his approvals. Things are not looking great. It's going to be interesting to follow these things. I'm obviously going to continue to make videos as things keep unfolding and things keep happening, and just to see. But look, the overall tone of Rhode Islanders is very clear. People are just not happy with the direction that the state is headed to. Just everything that's happening, all the potential loss and all these potential crazy issues, the hacking of the entire state system was like, that's wild. It's just a lot of things that are happening that people are paying attention to. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see where it goes. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, hit me up. By the way, if you're looking to support me, I'm a full-time real estate agent. This is how I earn a living. I just kind of do these videos for fun. If you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell or is looking to move to Rhode Island, I'm your #1 source. Connect them to me, and I'll take it from there. Thank you.